So today we'll be demonstrating the Developer Assistant, which is our real-time scanning solution. Now, the Developer Assistant uses the enterprise server components of the Protecode system. However, this module resides solely on the developer workstation. It does not report to anybody else except for the developer. It is sitting in the background, and it will actively monitor any workstation or workspaces that is designed to using the pre-approved and pre-configured policies. Now, in this case, we will ask it to manage my Acme workspace using our default policy. Now, all these policies are already confirmed in the system, and in our case, the policy says everything is okay except for GPL code. We have done our due diligence, and GPL code is against our corporate policies. Now, you can certainly monitor multiple workspaces under multiple policies, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we will just focus on Acme workspace. As you can see right now, we have 0 policy violations, and that is because our workspace is empty. Now, there's many ways in which source code can find its way into a project. The simplest way is to certainly type it up. Otherwise, you can just bring some legacy code, modify it, work with it. So we've brought in 2 pieces of legacy C code, and as you can see, no issues with our Developer Assistant. It is still sitting there. It has analyzed the files in the background, and it has come up with no policy violations. Now, that's great. We brought in our proprietary code, no problem. If we were to bring in a piece of open source software, in this case, the PPSKit module of the Linux kernel, if I were to copy one file from there and bring it in, immediately the Developer Assistant is notifying me that there is a policy violation. I can go in, try to understand what the violation is. In this case, obviously, it's a full file violation. So I'm using unmodified source code from the internet or open source code. We can see here that it is a match to the PPSKit module of the Linux kernel, which has a GNU General Public License, version 2.0. Now, as a developer, I have a couple of options right now. I can choose to ignore this, knowing that it will be caught up during our build time scans or automated scans later on, or I can request for pre-approval for this particular project under certain restrictions. I can also go back and try to find another way to write this code, hopefully another open source project that does not have a GNU General Public License 2.0 associated with it. Now, certainly bringing code in through a USB stick is one way. Another way is to bring it in from the internet. So if we bring up Firefox again and we search, for example, libgit. Now, libgit is used to talk to GitHub. Definitely a lot of people use this. And if I go into source, let's say I really like the way they've implemented their branching algorithm. So I could certainly take the whole branching file, or in my case, I'm actually really interested in this retrieve branch reference function. Now, just this function itself will still be distributed under the GNU GPL version 2 license, obviously. But if I were to take that and place it in one of my legacy files, and let's say I actually want to be a little bit trickier and put in my own copyright on it. So let's say copyright Acme Inc. Distributed under the MIT license. And hit save. What is happening is that the system in the background is scanning that file, and it has found a modified file violation. So what this tells me is that part of my file in legacy is a match to something in the public domain. If I open the partial viewer, we can see exactly the function that I have just copied. So we have taken code from the public domain. It's code that's licensed under the GNU General Public License version 2. We've inserted that code into our own software, gave our software a different license altogether, even put our own copyright on it, and the system still found the partial match. So we're currently using modified open source software, which is against our predefined policy. The developer certainly now has the option to go back, look at this code, and try to replace it with something that is okay under our policy. The developer assistant, as I've said before, resides on the machine, just on the developer's machine. This report is not sent to anybody else. This is not Big Brother. It's purely a tool for the developer to understand at the earliest stages what goes into their code, to understand the pedigree of their code, and to make sure that it follows the standard corporate policies. It doesn't interfere with work. It's just a minor pop-up, and it automatically works in the background. Thank you very much.